From the Nationwide News Network. Comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
In Nationwide News at this hour, up to $70 billion.
That's how much the JLP's planned reduction in the rate of personal income tax could cost.
So it still remains very sizable, and you would hope that further details can come out both for the JLP and the PNP later in the debate tonight.
Only official equipment issued by the EOJ will be used to verify voters on Election Day.
Affordable housing for tourism workers is one of the top priorities in the JLP's 18-point plan for the sector.
And the JLP also plans to launch a pension plan for farmers if it forms the next government.
In news from the rest of the world, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister defends support for U.S. drug cartel mission.
UN demands justice over Israeli double strike on Gaza hospital.
In headline sports, sprinter Jodine Williams reacts to doing mandatory biological sex test to compete in female events at World Championships in Japan.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, the JLP is proposing an exemption of income tax for persons 65 and over. Labor and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. will join us to tell us more about the proposal.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, what question would you ask of tonight's debaters? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page Nationwide News Network and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the Electoral Commission says no integrity lamp outside of the official equipment it issues will be used to verify electors following a promise from PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell to equip all indoor agents with those lamps on Election Day. You'll hear more. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, nationwideradio.com, and on the Nationwide app available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, August 26, 2025.
This hour is brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The JLP's promised reduction in the rate of personal income tax could cost as much as $70 billion in total revenues. That's according to economist Keenan Faulkner. The Labour Party announced a phased 10 percentage point reduction in personal income tax as part of their manifesto launch on Sunday. This would move the rate down from 25% to 15%. But the economist says more details are needed regarding the proposed measure. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Faulkner's $70 billion assessment is based on the 10-point reduction in the personal income tax rate being implemented in the current financial year. This would immediately move the current rate from 25% to 15%.
We discussed that all things being equal, the government appears to give up possibly at least 4% of PAYE taxes, which could cost somewhere between 60 and 70 billion out of the 150 billion that the government collected last year, projected to collect 170 billion this year. So it still remains very sizable, and you would hope that further details can come out both for the JLP and the PNP later in the debate tonight.
According to the revenue estimates for the 2025-2026 financial year, tabled in February, the government projects personal income tax collection at just over $170 billion. This is predicated on the 25% rate paid by pay-as-you-earn PAYE earners over $1.8 million. A 40% reduction in this rate, moving it to 15%, would see the government lose approximately $68 billion in revenues, based on the current estimates. It should be noted that the JLP has suggested the measure will be phased in as necessary. But neither the rate nor the timeline for this has been provided. The PNP has countered with a proposed upward adjustment in the income tax threshold to $3.5 million. Mr. Faulkner questions the feasibility of implementing either the JLP or PNP's proposal over the next 2 financial years based on projected revenues.
I think any phasing in still needs to take place after the next 2 years. Both of them are so sizable that I don't think they can be reasonably accommodated in the next 2 years, and that implementation would have to start after that and then be concluded maybe 2 or 3 years after that.
Using the same estimates, even a 1-point reduction in the rate of personal income tax could cost the government roughly $7 billion if the measure was imposed this financial year. Mr. Faulkner is calling on the JLP to provide more details. For example, he notes that there's no reference to the 30% rate imposed on those earning $6 million or more.
Initially, you would probably start to think of some other questions like, will there just be one threshold, or will there be 2? Will it be harmonized fully at 15%? Or if there is still 2, what would be the second rate? And also, would the 30% be lowered? Would it be raised? And or by how much would it be lowered or raised? So those are, questions to definitely consider as this implementation takes place.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The JLP's representative on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, Tom Tavares Finson, is denouncing a promise from PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell to equip all indoor agents with integrity lamps on election day. Dr. Campbell made the assertion while speaking to comrades at a mass meeting in Mandeville on Sunday. He says the integrity lamps will be used to verify voter IDs.
I have taken a decision, and we have bought integrity lamps for every single constituency, so that we are going to train our indoor agents. Pick up your integrity lamp, look at the voter ID, look to the security bar. Every single constituency that the PNP is putting up a candidate has been given their integrity lamp, so they can look at the ID to make sure that the necessary security features are there.
But Mr. Tavares Finson says Dr. Campbell is trying to misinform the electorate.
Of course, Dr. Campbell, as a member of the Electoral Commission, should know better than this. No worker, PNP or JLP, would be entitled to walk into a polling station with an integrity lamp. There's only one integrity lamp in the polling station. It is provided by the Electoral Office of Jamaica and is operated by the presiding officer. Clearly, Campbell's statement is meant only to sow discord and misinformation amongst the potential voters of the country. It ought to be ignored.
Tom Tavares Finson, JLP representative on the ECJ.
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission says no integrity lamp outside of the official equipment it issues will be used to verify electors. It says only the presiding officer appointed by the Electoral Office is authorized to verify voter IDs. In a statement on Tuesday, the ECJ says only specified equipment under the control of the presiding officer is legally allowed in the vicinity of the polling stations. No other person, including indoor agents, has the authority to carry out this verification. The ECJ is reminding all registered political parties of the laws that govern procedures which apply to operations at polling stations. And Director of Elections Glaspole Brown says 7 constituencies across Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine will use the electronic voter identification system EVIS to verify electors. With EVIS registered electors will be identified using their biometric data. EVIS is aimed at preventing impersonation of an elector, multiple voting by persons, and the use of authenticated ballots.
Affordable housing for tourism workers is one of the top priorities in the JLP's 18-point plan for the sector. The promise is outlined in the party's 2025 election manifesto. The document, dubbed I Choose Jamaica, the Next Chapter, was launched in Sam Sharp Square in Montego Bay, St. James on Sunday. Khaleesi Wright has this report.
The JLP's manifesto features 110 pages of proposals across various sectors, including tourism. At the manifesto launch on Sunday, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says housing for tourism workers will be a main priority in the 18-point plan.
Housing for tourism workers
is the biggest part of this new plan. And we have put together already $500 million Jamaican dollars. I set up the website already. We start interviewing already. And we're going to start to provide loan support to the workers of the tourism industry so that they can own a home of their own.
The plan also outlines that the JLP will seek to make negotiations with resort developers to include on-site or nearby staff accommodations. It will also seek to strengthen partnerships with the National Housing Trust (NHT) and other private sector developers in an effort to bring about more affordable housing solutions for tourism workers. Bartlett says the JLP also plans to create greater inclusivity for local manufacturers, farmers, creatives, and professionals in the tourism supply chain.
We will develop a program that we're going to call Local First. You know what I mean? It means we, the people of Jamaica, will have first call on all the supply requirements for tourism. And how are you going to do that? You're going to do that by building the capacity of all of you who are creatives to add value and to do more.
The tourism minister also used the occasion to boast about what he says is the significant growth of the industry under the Holness administration. In 2024, Jamaica's tourism industry earned over $4 billion. The 2024 end-of-year figures represented increases of 5.3% in visitor arrivals and 3.3% in earnings compared to 2023. Minister Bartlett says the party's 18-point plan for the sector will add to this growth. Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the JLP plans to launch a pension plan for farmers if it forms the next government. This is one of the initiatives announced by Agriculture Minister Floyd Green at the launch of the JLP's 2025 manifesto on Sunday.
There is a lot in this manifesto for our farmers and fishers. We are going to do the first pension plan for farmers and fishers. A lot of you want to get involved in agriculture. You don't have any land. This Jamaica Labour Party government is going to put an agro park in every single parish. So if you want to farm, we will provide the land.
Minister Green says the JLP will also embark on a conservation agriculture program.
Finally, we are doing a $3 billion program to help people go into protected agriculture. We are going to help you build a greenhouse so that you can farm and produce.
Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture.
PNP President Mark Golding is rubbishing claims his party would discontinue existing government programs and policies should it form the next government. He's labeled the perception as nonsense.
That's absolute nonsense. We recognize that in the $360 billion envelope for programs, there's a vast array of programs. Some of them are long-standing and fundamental, such as the PATH program, which was started by the People's National Party and provides support for vulnerable children and vulnerable citizens. And we would never do anything to reduce that. In fact, to the contrary, we're trying to bolster that by some of the other areas which need similar support, such as the Ease and the Ride programs that we've come up with.
Mr. Golding was speaking at the launch of the PNP's Manifesto Light on Monday. The PNP has criticized several programs put forward by the governing JLP. The latest is the Rural School Bus program, which is set to be rolled out next month. Damian Crawford has vowed that the PNP will discontinue the program should it form government on September 3. But Mr. Golding argues that some existing programs may be deferred in order to implement other solutions to better serve the country.
There are many other programs which represent a decision of the government of the day to pursue a particular policy initiative, which we may defer, for example, if we don't anticipate that it would have a negative impact on the quality of life of the Jamaican people. We will not be doing anything that would have a negative impact on the quality of life of the Jamaican people. So we will be working within the envelope of the budget, but we will be adjusting those things that we don't think need to be brought forward so we can bring forward the things that we think are essential for making life better for the people of Jamaica at this time.
Mark Golding, PNP President.
In the race to 32, facts matter.
Did you know that both major political parties have won 9 general elections each? Yes, that's a fact. It's a case of honors even between the PNP and the JLP in general elections since 1944. The JLP won the first 2 in 1944 and 49, going on to win in 1962, 1967, 1980, 1983, 2007, 2016, and 2020. The PNP, which boycotted the 1983 polls, won in 1955, 1959, 1972, 1976, 1989, 1993, 1997, 2002, and 2011.
This nationwide Did You Know fact is part of our coverage for the race to 32 as we preview the next general election.
You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is
16 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is... It's 32 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 in Montego Bay.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
Continuing the news. In news just in, the Jamaica Debates Commission JDC says a sign language interpreter has been confirmed for tonight's debate. The statement follows public discourse on the absence of a sign language interpreter at the first debate last Saturday. In a release on Tuesday, the JDC says it consulted representatives from the deaf community and received a list of recommended interpreters from which to choose. It says a decision was made which it says best balanced the needs of the audience and internal requirements. Tonight's debate concerns issues pertaining to the economy. The team from the JLP will feature Finance Minister Fayval Williams, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, and Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. They will match with the PNP's Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting, and Keisha Anderson.
A man who was previously featured on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Wanted Wednesday campaign was among 2 people shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police in Rose Heights, St. James on Tuesday. He has been identified as 19-year-old Dante Enever, otherwise called Dangles, of Gold Avenue, Rose Heights in the parish. The other deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Jermaine Nesbeth. Reports are that at about 1:30 p.m., the police were involved in a confrontation with both men, during which 2 firearms were seized. Enever had earlier been listed as a person of interest in connection with an aggravated assault and wounding with intent incident committed in January on Gold Avenue Main Road. He was charged on April 14 and appeared before the St. James Parish Court on April 30. He was released on bail, but the case was later dismissed after the complainant declined to continue, reportedly out of fear. The police say investigations into the double fatal shooting are ongoing. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is probing the fatal shooting.
This is a nationwide election nugget.
Mark Golding's constituency of South St. Andrew has fallen only once to the JLP since its creation in 1967 in contested elections. Eugene Parkinson won the seat by only 648 votes for the JLP during the first ever poll for that seat in 1967.
This put an end to the PNP's Vernon Arnett's political career. Since then, the constituency has consistently voted for the People's National Party. Golding, who's been MP since his by-election victory in 2017, is now seeking his third term and second full term as Member of Parliament at the polls come September. During the 2020 general election, Mr. Golding beat his challenger, the JLP's Victor Hyde, by 6,787 votes, or 87.81% of votes cast.
That was a nationwide election nugget.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has defended her support for the U.S. Navy's presence near Venezuela in its mission to dismantle drug cartels. She told critics that for the next 5 years, her foreign and domestic policy will be Trinidad and Tobago first. She also dismissed claims that her stance weakened CARICOM's position, saying the regional body was already divided. On Monday, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley rebuked the PM for backing President Donald Trump. Rowley says the current Prime Minister was pursuing the most reckless foreign policy. But Persad-Bissessar says whether her government or CARICOM liked it or not, the U.S. had the capacity to disrupt drug networks.
The United Nations, UN, is demanding justice following Israel's deadly double strike on a Gaza hospital. The attack killed at least 20 people, including 4 health workers and 5 journalists from the Associated Press, Reuters, Al Jazeera, and Middle East Eye. An initial Israeli military probe says the strike had targeted a camera positioned by Hamas. Condemnation of the attack has been mounting, with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer describing it as indefensible. On Tuesday, the Israel Defense Forces released its initial inquiry, which identified several gaps for further investigations. It came as Israelis launched a day of nationwide protests, calling on their government to accept a deal to release hostages. The Israeli government has so far dismissed a ceasefire proposal agreed to by Hamas, despite previously signing up for it.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, up to $70 billion.
That's how much the JLP's planned reduction in the rate of personal income tax could cost.
Only official equipment issued by the EOJ will be used to verify voters on Election Day. I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Providing for those who provide for our nation. The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for our farmers. We've rebuilt over 700 farm roads, expanded irrigation systems, and reduced taxes on farm supplies. Plus, the first ever insurance plan for farmers, and billions in loans and grants, helping them to the highest crop yields in over 10 years. We're planting for tomorrow. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
If a hurricane mash up your house tomorrow, would your insurance fully cover it? Many Jamaicans are underinsured and don't even know it. One hurricane and they could be paying millions out of pocket. BCIC's free property valuation tool is here to help everyone update their home's rebuilding cost. Plus, when you update your sum insured with BCIC, you'll get $5 million in free contents insurance and up to 12 months to pay. Visit bciconline.com.
KFC this summer, we a bucket together.
All a vibe with your crew, yeah, we a stay true, the taste is so good.
KFC, bucket on the ends with the real one. My island, we a world champion.
All of we connect with the KFC.
Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we a bucket together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. JFF President Michael Ricketts says the sudden resignation of PFJL head Owen Hill has come as a huge surprise to him. Ricketts told Nationwide Sports today that he was part of a meeting with Hill in the past 3 days, and he got the impression that he was looking forward with optimism to the 2025-26 season of the Rare Nephew Jamaica Premier League season.
I had no idea that this was in the making. In fact, I had an extended meeting with him and some other footballing interests on Saturday, I think it was. And he was still very excited, wanted to get things going, wanted to ensure that the meeting and the issues that were raised were amicably settled. So when I got the news this morning, I was very, very surprised and disappointed.
Ricketts says it's important that the PFJL gets someone to lead the organization as quickly as possible, even if only in the short term. And that process, he says, is already underway.
I'm having had discussions with the PFJL Secretariat. They are intent on quickly having a replacement in position, and the show has to continue. So we are just intent on as quickly as possible get somebody in place, because I think he did a pretty decent job.
Hill's resignation comes 3 months after Chris Williams announced his intention to step down as chairman effective August 31. Only last week, Hill guided the proceedings at the launch of the start of the 2025-26 season of the Rare Nephew Premier League at the offices of the Jamaica Football Federation in New Kingston. Hill's resignation will take effect on September 30. Jamaican international Leon Bailey will miss at least the first 2 games in the final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, both in the month of September. The 28-year-old Bailey has been ruled out for 4 weeks following an injury he picked up in his first training session at the Italian Serie A side AS Roma on the very day he put pen to paper on a season-long loan deal from Aston Villa. Bailey is said to suffer a serious calf injury, which Roma coach Jean-Pierre Gasperini says was strange from a normal movement. The injury took place 2 days before Roma opened the new season against Bologna, a game they won 1-0. Bailey will be out of Jamaica's World Cup qualifying games away to Bermuda next Friday in Hamilton, and at home the following Tuesday against Caribbean rivals Trinidad and Tobago. He could be back in time for the October 10 away fixture in Curacao. 2 of the 3 Jamaicans who are looking to be crowned Wonder Diamond League champions on Wednesday's first day of the finals will not be able to accept wildcard entries to next month's World Championships in Tokyo. Olympic silver medalist Wayne Pinnock, who will be going for the men's long jump title, and Paris shot put bronze medalist Ginger Campbell, even if they win the diamond, because they've already started the process of switching allegiance to Turkey. Jamaica will not benefit from the wild card as they are not eligible to compete at the Worlds. Kerry McLeod, who also will be hoping to win the men's long jump diamond title, will have the luxury of using either the wild card or his World Championship qualifying standard in Tokyo. The other Jamaican in the runnings for a diamond trophy on the first day is Jordan Scott, who goes into the meet as a leader of the men's triple jump in favourite to land the title. A win for Scott may not benefit Jamaica either, because no one else is even close to the World Championship standards of 17 meters 22 or even in the quarter pool. National sprinter Jodine Williams says she finds the new test for the SRY gene a bit intrusive. All athletes wishing to compete in the female category at the World Championships are required to undergo a once-in-a-lifetime test for the SRY gene, a reliable proxy for determining biological sex. This is to be conducted via a cheek swab or blood test, whichever is more convenient. The new regulations will come into effect on September 1 and will be applied to the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, which starts on September 13. The testing protocol is being overseen by member federations as they prepare their athletes and teams for the World Championships. Williams is among several Jamaican female athletes who have already done the test.
No, because I just think it's confidential. I mean, remember now you have females out there that have a hormone imbalance. Nobody really want to put that out in public if it's going public. So I just find it as being something confidential.
National female sprinter Jodine Williams and other Sprintec athletes are traveling this week to Japan for the week-long training camp ahead of the World Championships in Tokyo starting September 13. And finally in sports, the international career of former West Indies Test captain Craig Brathwaite could be nearing an end as it emerged. The long-serving opener is set to be dropped from Cricket West Indies' central contract list for the 2025-26 season. The 32-year-old stalwart, a mainstay at the top of the order for over a decade, is not expected to be among the players offered an international retainer, according to sources. Instead, the Barbadian batsman has been offered a domestic contract by the Barbados Pride franchise following the recent regional draft. The decision comes on the heels of a difficult period for Brathwaite, even at a point where he achieved a monumental feat last month. He earned his 100th Test cap against Australian Grenada, becoming only the 10th West Indian to do so in this format of the game. His lean run culminated in him being dropped for the third Test at Sabina Park, a match that infamously saw the West Indies have been bowled out for a record low 27 runs en route to a 3-0 series whitewash. This omission ended a remarkable streak of 90 consecutive Test appearances dating back to 2014. Brathwaite's likely exclusion from the central contract list raises pressing questions about his international future. It follows his official resignation as Test captain in March, just weeks after masterminding a historic series leveling victory over Pakistan in their own backyard, the West Indies' first Test win there in 30 years. Cricket West Indies has yet to officially announce its list of centrally or regionally contracted players. I will do for sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:32.
From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
32 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All our vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good.
KFC, bucket on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion.
All we connect with the KFC.
Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Stay ahead in your career with UWI-STAR, the short-term advancement resource center. Our programs are designed to support your professional growth. Join our community of professionals and take the next step in your career. Visit our website, www.mona.uwi.edu/short-courses to learn more about the continuing professional education programs of UWI-STAR.
All registered electors are allowed time off to vote on election day. Under the law, every employer shall permit employees to be absent from work on polling day for 3 hours in addition to the normal lunch hour. This does not apply to employees who begin work at 10 a.m. or after, or end work at 2 p.m. or earlier. Remember, time off to vote on election day is your right. That was an important announcement from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hello, this is Darrell Vaz. Jamaica's next energy contract cannot be the same as a bad 20-year-old deal negotiated by the PNP in 2001 and 2016. This minister and the Jamaica Labour Party administration now has the first opportunity available for us to renegotiate a reduction in your bills, and we will get it done. Do not allow the same PNP politicians to again negotiate on your behalf. On September 3rd, put your X beside the bell and choose Jamaica. Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Paying bills just got easier. With Evolve Bill Pay, the new bill payment service by Supreme Ventures, you can settle your light, water, telephone, and internet bills at over 180 Supreme Ventures locations island-wide, right where you live and shop. Pay, play, and go with Evolve Bill Pay. Evolve Bill Pay. Fast, easy, right round the corner.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes.
Watch out.
Protect yourself.
What is the
For more
on TV?
information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or
Here,
scan
baby.
the QR code on screen.
Deepfake. No deepfake can't catch me.
Junior, you know say AI can make something will look and sound just like you? One day Junior get a voice note from her granny. Say the food done, the medication done, and she need money urgently.
Need money urgently? But Miss Pat no like ask people for things.
And as so comes, Judy get suspicious.
So what she do?
She asks the neighbor figure check pan her. Junior, the lady quite alright over there make her Sunday dinner.
So the voice note a deep fake?
Yes, my love. Come, your food ready.
Right now it look like we have to outsmart the AI. But wait, I really want dege dumpling here, give me.
Me I wonder if AI can make one deep fake dumpling for you.
To learn more about deepfakes, visit www.broadcastingcommission.org.
Cover Story is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
This is the Race to 32, the battle for Jamaica House and the issues that matter. Your voice, your vote.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Well, good afternoon, Siobhan.
Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
9 days from now
will be the day.
Yes. We'll be anchoring our coverage of the Race to 32 and to walk the Jamaican people through what will be a historic night. Yes? Well, this afternoon, the governing Jamaica Labour Party says it will provide significant tax breaks for senior citizens if it were to win those general elections. The proposal is among a raft of initiatives outlined in the party's general election manifesto dubbed I Choose Jamaica, the next chapter.
The 110-page document was unveiled during a mass rally in Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, St. James on Sunday. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcements.
For our seniors, and they have been writing to me patiently, we have some very good, we have to give thanks for our senior citizen class. They are the ones that keep balance in the society. They are an anchor. We have to give thanks for them. So for seniors aged 65 and over, we will exempt all employment and pension earnings from income tax, where total income from all sources is $6 million or less per year, because we are honoring our seniors who have built Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the opposition People's National Party in its manifesto promised to expand and strengthen community-based programs to support the daily needs and well-being of older persons. Founder and executive chairman of the Caribbean Community of Retired Persons, the CCRP, Jean Laurie Chin, has commended the two major political parties for including policies targeting senior citizens in their election manifestos.
Mrs. Laurie Chin is also calling for closed captioning to be included in the ongoing national debates to assist elderly citizens who are hard of hearing.
It's one thing to have a signer, and we should have a signer for the deaf. But a lot of our elderly folks are getting hard of hearing, and they do not know how to sign. And therefore, I'm appealing to the stations who are carrying it to have closed captions, please, so that they can at least read what is being said. Because a lot of our elderly people do not understand signing. They were hearing right up until their older age, and now they're having problems with their hearing.
Jean Laurie Chin, founder and executive chair of the CCRP. Joining us now to discuss further is the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr. Good afternoon, Mr. Charles.
Thank you so much, Clay. Thank you. To your listeners as well. I hope that you're hearing me.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I'm all the way up in a place called Boys Content.
Where is that?
That is the intersection between Southeast Clarendon, North Central Clarendon, and 2 or 3 of the constituencies in St. Catherine. It's at the north end of my very, very large constituency, which you know is not only geographically wide in span, but is the perhaps first or second largest in terms of voter population.
Oh, I didn't know that. How many thousand voters you have?
I'm heading towards 47,000 now.
Wow.
My constituency is massive, so when people ask where I am, you have to understand I have responsibility from Boys Content to Corata Hill to Freetown, from Moores to Birds Hill, going all the way down to entire Vere. Lionel Town is cut in half, Rocky Point, Portland, Longwood. You have to drive out of my seat maybe twice to go to some of the areas. So it is a wide span, but we give thanks.
Well, how do you manage to service such a large geographical area and with so many people?
It is very difficult, but I'm blessed with a very committed team of persons. And we try our best to work in a coordinated way. So while I am here, there has to be another team that is servicing somewhere in Cockpit or Salt River. Because as I said to you, 2 things that I face. I give you a comparison. Southwest Clarendon, for instance, is just as large a geographical span, but it's perhaps almost half or 2/3 of my population. So I'm unique in that it's not just a big space. It's a massive population that is growing. Remember, Longville Park is in my seat as well, which is the largest dormitory residential space in the Caribbean. And we just opened Longville Meadows, which is a phase 4 basically, and that's going to add, in addition to the other phase of it, another 2,000 households, or between 1,500 to 2,000 households. So a massive space growing. I know that within the next 5 years, I imagine we're going to have to start looking on what the perimeter will be. But for now, you go on your knees, you pray, you get a good team, and you try your best to be as committed as possible.
But very few of them are turning out. What is the average turnout for the last couple of elections?
It's similar to the average across the country. Maybe not one of the lowest, but I'd say we are either average or above. There's some years where we have 40%, some 30% in terms of turnout. And yes, that issue in terms of apathy and distance from the polls is widening for many different reasons. But we're trying our best to make sure that we can engage on different levels. Last night I did a TikTok live. I didn't even know what to do with the rose that they sent me on the TikTok. But I'm trying my best to use many different angles. TikTok, town halls, midnight conversations. We were in Mitchelltown with a bunch of youngsters having a conversation at 12 o'clock last night. And what you hear from them is the reality. That when we, for instance, have a town hall, they don't know. That information is not trickling down in the way that makes them attend or even be interested in attending. So we have to get up and reach them. We have to find the modalities that make them feel interested, and also mix it up in terms of how you communicate to the seniors, how you communicate to the students, how you communicate to the unattached. And let's try your best to do as many different things as possible to be a comprehensive communicator in terms of being an MP in this large space.
Yeah. We're going to take a break, Minister Charles. And when we come back, we'll pick up on why we invited you here to talk to the breaks, the benefits in the manifesto for our seniors.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 5:45.
Bird Shack Fried Chicken Summer Vibes promotion. Spend $1,000 or more at any store this August and win weekly prizes of JBL speakers or earbuds, plus a grand prize of a 50-inch smart TV. Bird Shack Fried Chicken.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken is...
It's 32 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and 31 out west in Montego Bay.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All a vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good.
KFC, keep on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion.
All of we connect with the KFC.
Jamrock celebrate with we.
KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
Home is closer than you think when you save towards your dream home with the Homeowner Savings Plan or HOSP from CIBC Caribbean. With HOSP, you unlock preferential interest rates to earn more interest on your savings and pay less with a discounted mortgage rate. You can even borrow up to an additional US $5,000 or its equivalent to help you with your closing costs. Get home faster when you save the HOSP way with CIBC.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
Want to reduce your high electricity bills? Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid-tied to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
Mommy, I need new shoes, books, so many things for back to school.
Back to school pressure is real. Chris and Charles has your back. Get your back to school loan of $1.5 million with reduced processing fees, discounted interest rates, and fast approval. Win a fully loaded backpack for your child. Start school with less stress and more success. Apply today at any branch or visit www.chrisandcharles.com. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hello, this is Darrell Vaz. Jamaica's next energy contract cannot be the same as a bad 20-year-old deal negotiated by the PNP in 2001 and 2016. This minister and the Jamaica Labour Party administration now has the first opportunity available for us to renegotiate a reduction in your bills, and we will get it done. Do not allow the same PNP politicians to again negotiate on your behalf. On September 3rd, put your X beside the bell and choose Jamaica. Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the cover story. We are discussing Social Security and other senior promises made by the JLP's manifesto, and we have with us to discuss that the Minister of Labour and Social Security himself, Pernell Charles Jr. So I'd like to get right into it, Minister Pernell Charles, and the first one, I think the one that sticks out to most, that tax break that you're promising to senior citizens up to $6 million in income. Has this been costed? And do you have a timeline for implementation?
I think what's important for us is that we're not just committing but we've already started the process of ensuring that the seniors can tackle the challenges that are clearly having to confront the cost of living. And yes, we have done the work to make sure that this group, which is the same group who had to tackle the severe wage freezes and high interest rates in the 1990s, those persons in the 1990s are now our retirees. And so they're the ones who have made the sacrifices that kept the country afloat. And that's why we believe that this tax relief will be critical and important to allow them who are over 65 to have a fair opportunity, not just in terms of increased wages for those who are still working, but the additional support that is needed for them to be able to deal with the issues that are global issues, rising prices, other complications that they may have, which we are tackling in terms of not just the tax relief, but the significant support coming to them who are past beneficiaries, those who have no support at all and are now getting the benefit of social pension that has been instituted by the JLP. So it's a many different angles that the Jamaican Labour Party sees the seniors' issues. We listen to them. I've had several cohorts of seniors.
Yes, Minister. I apologize to cut you off, Minister, but I appreciate what you're saying, but I still would like the answer as to whether the JLP has costed this and the timeline that you believe you'll be able to roll it out in terms of next fiscal year, the fiscal year after that, in phases. Any of this information available?
So I don't want to give you any specific timelines. What I can tell you is that, yes, we have costed it. And yes, as we have done in the past, all of the various commitments that we have made, we have established to the country that we have the economic plan and the formula to ensure that those commitments are incrementally and steadily applied so that we can do what we can afford. And so when the Jamaican Labour Party says that we are going to offer exemption from income tax for all earnings from employment and pension for income for persons who are age 65 and above, we will do it. We did it at 1.5. We did it in other areas that we have made commitments, and it will be done.
Well, you have costed it.
When,
you have costed it. What will it cost in terms of giving up of revenue? That's the question Siobhan is asking.
I don't have the specific figures now, and I don't want to get caught in giving you any wrong figures. I'd rather leave that to the Ministry of Finance. But what I do have is the general policies and programs that we have applied and the general policies and programs that we will apply. And the basis of it, income tax relief is one element of relief for our seniors. I want to make it very clear. 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit with about 30 seniors. I said it to them. For the JLP, the next era of governance for seniors will not see it just as retirement, but as healthy, active, purposeful aging. So the income tax relief is one set. The priority services that we expect all government offices to give to our seniors is another. We have several legislative, amendments that are being made to ensure that we provide easier support for seniors who need help in terms of granting of powers of attorney for persons who will be there to give them support in their homes. And most importantly, and I'm sure you'll hear from Shireen, Senator Golding later on, the protection from abuse. Laws that will define elder abuse and introduce penalties for anyone who is found to physically, emotionally, or financially harm our seniors. So it's a comprehensive set of practical steps, even establishing an office of the older person's advocate. Just as simple as going down to the things that our seniors have recommended to us, such as partnership with HEART to make sure that we have better caregivers for seniors, better standards. And one of the most important things for me, which is in the top 3 issues that seniors have raised with me as minister, is the elimination of the burden on some seniors, some of them, who do not want to drive from Westmoreland to come and pick up a life certificate by introducing the I Am Alive application. So it's a comprehensive set, including the income relief, including the priority services, which is complementing what we have done before. And I want to remind Jamaica. The JLP can credibly say that we will institute income relief and we will institute that raft of measures. Why do I say so? This is the party that not only increased pension for the lower rate up to 76% and then added on another 10% this year, but this is the party that also looked out for those seniors who had no support, who didn't have any formal job, and so they had no pension to look out for, and gave them social pension. And then when we instituted social pension, we doubled it, increasing social pension to those seniors. This is the same party that on top of the NIS increase and the social pension, we have increased and expanded benefits for seniors that are getting support through PATH. So there are a raft of things that have all now culminated to one massive program that is being rolled out right now, which is called the Solidarity Program. So on top of all of what I've said, we have also identified that there is another cohort of elders in our country who have no birth certificate, who don't have no TRN, they can't sign up for all of these different activities, they can't register for NIS. And so the Solidarity Program is already functional and operating and rolling out in Jamaica to identify that cohort of seniors. Why do I mention all of these things? I mention them to make sure that all the listeners realize that we have, this is a well-calculated, deliberate, thought-out plan to make sure that this group of Jamaicans, which is the fastest growing group in our country, one of the most important groups in our country, will know that the JLP values you. We value seniors. We have instituted the digital literacy program.
Mr. Charles, we're running out of time and you've had a long run. Where was this last Saturday night on that stage?
Well, they didn't ask about seniors, unfortunately.
And
we didn't get any questions on seniors.
But
we didn't get any questions on pension. We didn't get any questions on the areas that really relate to social security. I had no control over the questions.
But the questions you were asked, seems like you lost your trend of thought on a number of occasions, and you were largely absent for the 90 minutes until a good closing argument. It was a solid closing argument, but for the rest of the 90 minutes, you disappeared.
Let me say this. It's not a matter of scenes. That's exactly what happened. I went in there completely exhausted. And the reality is, sometimes you think you're Superman, but you learn that you need to sleep before you take a national stage. Not hearing the questions properly, rambling and answering. I take full responsibility for what I think was a lackluster performance on my part. What I did was to make a decision to settle my mind, not rush to answer anything, and to focus on giving a solid closing. I think I gave a solid closing, but everything is a learning lesson. I think that it's important for us to take the good with the bad. Hopefully in the future, that experience will guide me and assist me to be stronger, more effective, and better in responding, and better prepared in terms of handling that kind of matter. But just exhausted. There's no excuse or no, I was feeling sick. No, just simply exhausted.
Well, it's big of you to be so frank and honest with your listeners.
I don't know. Listen, when you grow up in Pernal Child's home, you don't do anything else.
Oh.
All I know is to be frank and honest. But
I really respect that. You didn't come here and try to spin as if you didn't have.
No. I can tell you this. I am my greatest critic. And I think that my first question, I did not hear I didn't even know what I was answering, really. I heard youth and I heard house. I just was not in it at all. I really appreciate my teammates. I think Massey did a fabulous job. He made up where I fell off. I think Kamina is just a simply amazing person. She is a walking manifesto, and I hope that persons realize how much work she puts in, not just for the party, but for the country. And that's why we are a team. You know, I will have my good days and my bad days. That wasn't my greatest or finest moment. Thankfully, God allowed me to get back some energy and put forward what I think was a fair closing. But that's why we're a team. You know, I'll have my days and my team will be there to lift me up. But overall, when the country asks themselves outside of just performances, what is the substance that this party is putting forward? The difference and the distinction between the PNP and the JLP is promises and performance. It's just that simple.
And Minister, on the matter of that, in terms of distinctions between the People's National Party and the JLP, the JLP roundly criticized the PNP in terms of its promises without costing, and I'm putting costing to you today and timelines, and you're unable to give me those. So when you're going to the matter of assessing, Minister, please let me finish the question. When you go to the matter of assessing the JLP at the polls and choosing between the PNP and the JLP, why should the Jamaican people feel any more confident of you fulfilling these manifesto promises versus the People's National Party?
Well, I think it's a fair question, but I don't want to give you an answer without having the accurate numbers. I have numbers before me that need to be verified by the ministry, by the Minister of Finance. But I think that Jamaica has a very clear definition of who before them has actually done what they say they would do. I think Jamaica has had 9 years of the JLP performance, 8 years consecutive of no new taxes, no burden on you, while we have seen significant 33 quarters of growth, unemployment down to 3.3% from double-digit 13.2 when we took over, youth unemployment to 10.1 from over 30% when we took over. Income tax threshold going up to 1.8, GCT cut, electricity tax cut, stamp duty cut. All of those things are our lived reality. And those are our lived reality now because of better economic management under the JLP. You can go back and look on 4 consecutive years of the PNP government. And you can ask yourself as a citizen, what was the position then when globally things were better? JLP carried us through 9 years of hurricane, drought, and pandemic, and we have been asked by the international community, how is our unemployment figures better than the average globally? How is our labor participation rate of 69.3 better than the global average? This is because the JLP does what it says. And if we have any adjustments to what we have said, we can explain it and tell the country why we are making adjustments. So when we say we are going to institute income tax relief, you don't have to ask yourself whether it can be done or will be done. We can show you from our past performance that our commitments are truly commitments, not just promises. And we can show you also from the PNP's past performance that they not only shuffle and flip-flop, but that they put themselves first. I listened to my friend speak about rural bus during the debate, and I must tell you, perhaps my answer should have been stronger to rebuke him for actually putting the children of Jamaica in harm's way in how he thinks about them. I cannot believe that the PNP would be willing to put our children in harm's way, to take money out of the pockets of the parents just because they don't want JLP to gain a political point.
Mr. Charles, we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a cover story. The headlines are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles. The hour was brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
4 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. The JLP's promised reduction in the rate of personal income tax could cost as much as $70 billion in total revenues. That's according to economist Keenan Faulkner. The Labour Party announced a phased 10%. Let's do that again. The Labour Party announced a phased 10 percentage point reduction in personal income tax as part of their manifesto launch on Sunday. This would move the rate down from 25% to 15%, but The Economist says more details are needed regarding the proposed measure. Faulkner's $70 billion assessment is based on the 10-point reduction in the personal income tax rate being implemented in the current financial year. This would immediately move the current rate from 25% to 15%.
We discussed that all things being equal, the government appears to give up possibly at least 1% of PAYE taxes, which could cost somewhere between 60 and 70 billion out of the 150 billion that the government collected last year, projected to collect 170 billion this year. So it still remains very sizable, and you would hope that further details can come out both for the JLP and the PNP later in the debate tonight.
According to the revenue estimates for the 2025-2026 financial year tabled in February, the government projects personal income tax collection at just over $170 billion. This is predicated on the 25% rate paid by pay-as-you-earn PAYE earners over $1.8 million. A 40% reduction in this rate, moving it to 15%, would see the government lose approximately $68 billion in revenues based on the current estimates. It should be noted that the JLP has suggested the measure will be phased in as necessary. The JLP's representative on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, Tom Tavares Finson, is denouncing a promise from PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell to equip all indoor agents with integrity lamps on Election Day. Dr. Campbell made the assertion while speaking to comrades at a mass meeting in Mandeville on Sunday. He says the integrity lamps will be used to verify voter IDs.
I have taken a decision, and we have bought integrity lamps for every single constituency, so that we are going to train our indoor agents. Take up your integrity lamp, look at the voter ID, look to the security bar. Every single constituency that the PNP is putting up a candidate has been given their integrity lamp, so they can look at the ID to make sure that the necessary security features are there.
But Mr. Tavares Finson says Dr. Campbell is trying to misinform the electorate.
Of course, Dr. Campbell, as a member of the Electoral Commission, should know better than this. No worker, PNP or GLP, would be entitled to walk into a polling station with an integrity lamp. There's only one integrity lamp in the polling station. It is provided by the Electoral Office of Jamaica and is operated by the presiding officer. Clearly, Campbell's statement is meant only to sow discord and misinformation amongst the potential voters of the country. It ought to be ignored.
Tom Tavares Finson, JLP representative on the ECJ. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission says no integrity lamp outside of the official equipment it issues will be used to verify electors. It says only the presiding officer appointed by the Electoral Office is authorized to verify voter IDs. In a statement on Tuesday, the ECJ said only specified equipment under the control of the presiding officer is legally allowed in the vicinity of polling stations. No other person, including indoor agents, has the authority to carry out this verification. The EOJ is reminding all registered political parties of the laws that govern procedures which apply to Operation elections at polling stations. And Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says 7 constituencies across Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine will use the Electronic Voter Identification System, EVIS, to verify voters. While registered electors will be identified using their biometric data. EVIS is aimed at preventing impersonation of an elector, multiple voting persons, and the use of unauthenticated ballots. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay. Banton Sports is next.
GPS. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool. Enough ways to see it, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice handy juice. The fan AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC for a bit, then a fan after that. Keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today. KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All a vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good.
KFC, bucket on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion.
All we connect with the KFC.
Jamrock celebrate with we.
KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger licking good. KFC.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jack on my figure, dig the wall.
Our Total Tools.
Please walk a figure, trim the lawn. We have everything your job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them, and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocherias, 34th Live Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jackson, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The Leeward Islands pulled off a dramatic one-wicket victory over Jamaica's under-17s in the ongoing Cricket West Indies 50-over championship. In the rain-affected games, Jamaica batted first and posted 186 for 8. Captain DeMarcus Scott top scored at 57. Seamer Kasim Challenger was the pick of the bowler as he bagged a 3 for 31. In reply, the Leeward Islands were given a revised target of 196 from 35 overs, which they reached with an over to spare. Captain and opener Tanis Francis scored a brilliant century, top scoring with 110 from 94 balls.
Yorker line delivery, appeal for LBW again, not out. And they scamper through for the single, appeal for a run out, not given. That's the end of the match. Umpire signals leg by, and the Leeward Islands, they edge through by 1 wicket.
The international career of former West Indies Test captain Craig Brathwaite could be nearing an end. As it emerged, the long-serving opener is set to be dropped from Cricket West Indies' central contract list for the 2025-26 season. The 32-year-old stalwart, a mainstay at the top of the order for over a decade, is not expected to be among the players offered an international retainer contract, according to sources. Instead, the Barbadian batsman has been offered a domestic contract by the Barbados Pride franchise following the recent regional draft. The decision comes on the heels of a difficult period for Brathwaite, even at a time where he achieved a monumental feat last month, where he earned his 100th Test cap against Australia in Grenada, becoming only the 10th West Indian to do so. His form has waned since. His lean run culminated in him being dropped for the third Test at Sabina Park, a match that infamously saw the West Indies bowled out for a record-low 27 runs en route to a 3-0 series wash. Their submission ended a remarkable streak of 90 consecutive Test appearances dating back to 2014. That's amazing, you know. Brathwaite's likely exclusion from the central contract list raises pressing questions about his international future. It follows his official resignation as Test captain in March, just weeks after masterminding a historic series levelling victory over Pakistan in their own backyard, the West Indies' first Test win over there in 30 years. Cricket West Indies has yet to officially announce its list of centrally or regionally contracted players. The Guyana Amazon Warriors will be going for the third straight win when they take on host, the defending champion St. Lucia Kings, in the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League at the Darren Sammy Stadium, where it should have started about 14 minutes or so ago. The Kings are going for their second win from 5 starts. Manager of the Warriors, Leon Johnson, is confident his team will carry their good form into today's game.
Very good start. I think we've been very dominant in the 2 games that we've played. I think we were good in every department, batting and bowling. And what's been most impressive for me is the way that we fielded in the 2 games. I think that's why we were very dominant.
Johnson says they need to take as many points as they can from their home games.
Every game is important, especially on the road. You know, if we come on the road and we always try and get as many points as we could get going back home to Guyana, because obviously the schedule there is very hectic. So when you get there, you probably want to be in a good position where, you know, you don't have to exert yourself. Maybe you could give a couple of important players a rest here and there, because we play 6 games in a matter of 12 days between Barbados and Guyana.
All right, that's Leon Johnson. And so the game is underway at the Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium. The latest score at the moment, let me see, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, they're batting. They're 36 for 1 after 3 overs and 3 balls. The man dismissed, Ben McDermott, for 30. They're 36 for 1, and he made 30 before he was dismissed. Shea Hope is not out 1. And Kevlin Anderson not out 5. Those are the not out batsmen. It's now 37 for 1 after 3 overs and 4 balls. That's the very latest coming out of the Darren Sammy Stadium. JFF President Michael Ricketts says the sudden resignation of PFGL head Owen Hill has come as a huge surprise to him. Ricketts told Nationwide Sports today that he was part of a meeting with Hill in the last 3 days, and he got the impression from the man that he was looking forward with optimism to the 2025-26 season of the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League.
I had no idea that this was in the making. In fact, I had an extended meeting with him and some other footballing interests on Saturday, I think it was. And he was still very excited, wanted to get things going, wanted to ensure that the meeting and the issues that were raised were amicably settled. So when I got the news this morning, I was very, very surprised and disappointed.
Ricketts says it's important that the PFGL gets someone to lead the organization as quickly as possible, even if only in the short term. And that process, he says, is already underway.
I'm having had discussions with the PFGL Secretariat. They are intent on quickly having a replacement in position, and the show has to continue. So we are just intent on as quickly as possible get somebody in place, because I think he did a pretty decent job.
That's Michael Ricketts, president of the JFF, speaking with Nationwide Sports today. His resignation comes at 3 months after Chris Williams announced his intention to step down as chairman effective August 31. Only last week, Hill guided the proceedings at the launch to start the 2025-26 season of the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League at the offices of the JFF in New Kingston. Hill's resignation will take effect on September 30. Jamaican international Leon Bailey will miss at least the first 2 games in the final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, both in the month of September. The 28-year-old Bailey has been ruled out for 4 weeks following an injury picked up in his first training session at Italian Serie A side AS Roma on the very day he put pen to paper on a season-long loan from British side Aston Villa. Bailey is said to suffer a serious calf injury, which Roma coach Jean-Pierre Gasparini says was strange from a normal movement. The injury took place 2 days before Roma opened the new season against Bologna, a game they won by 1-0. Bailey will be out of Jamaica's World Cup qualifying games away to Bermuda next Friday in Hamilton, and at home following Tuesday against Caribbean rivals Trinidad and Tobago. He could be back in time for the October 10 away fixture in Curacao. And the squad for the games against Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago will be announced this week, either Thursday or Friday. Coach of Heidel High School Manning Cup team, Alex Thomas, says he and his coaching staff will have their work cut out if they are to seriously contend for championship honors. Thomas, who took over at the helm from Devon Anderson, who himself left the Clarendon College team, says he doesn't have the greatest depth in quality, but they are prepared to work very hard with what they have.
We have a small squad, but we know to rotate and manage the squad, because we have a small squad going into the season, we have to manage them the right and proper way.
The 2025 Issa Schoolboy football season is set to kick off on September 6th, with Heidel drawn in a tough Zone A alongside 3 former champions, Bridgeport, Excelsior St. George's, plus Gainstead, Holy Trinity, Jonathan Grant, and St. Jago. Thomas, he says he's eyeing a successful debut season at the Ferry-based institution.
There is a team that's been doing good over the past 2 to 3 seasons, seasons ago they went to the final. Last season they went to the semi-final, so the expectation is high, but we have our coaching staff, we are very grounded and the mission ahead, and we are prepared for it.
That's Alex Thomas, who is the new head coach at Heidel High School and their Manning Cup program. And that will do it for sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
We are at the best point ever in agriculture in Jamaica. Very soon, we will have more than 50% of our irrigable arable lands irrigated. I had the great pleasure of breaking ground for the Pedro Plains project. The Essex Valley is underway, almost completed. And all of those projects are bringing more lands under irrigation. The Ministry of Agriculture has moved with great speed and alacrity in bringing lands under their agro park, under the agro invest strategy. There are lands available for persons who are interested in investing in agriculture to work on those lands. I had the pleasure of looking at the Parnassus Agro Park with farmers from all over Jamaica, including returning residents, putting in many acres of crops. We are at a good place. We must now expand and invest in our agriculture.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Are you ready to pursue undergraduate studies but you are unsure of what to study and where? Choose the internationally accredited University of the Commonwealth Caribbean UCC. We offer on-campus and online undergraduate programs in marketing, business administration, information technology, HR management, finance management, and more. Apply now at ucc.edu.jm or call 906-3000 or visit any of our campuses island-wide. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for your safety. Over the past 9 years, we've delivered the lowest murder rate in 30 years. We've strengthened our police force, and we've delivered landmark programs like the first government-run domestic violence shelters. The JLP is doing more for you, and we're not done yet. Proven results means peace of mind. Choose a safer Jamaica. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special good evening to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. We ask you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. It's exciting times.
The second political debate ahead of the September 3 general election is set for 9 o'clock tonight. Yeah, we are anticipating it will concern issues pertaining the economy. Yeah. The team for the JLP will feature Finance Minister Favour Williams, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, and Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. They will match wits with the PNP's Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting, and Keisha Anderson. Now, the proceedings will be moderated by our very own Deputy Executive Editor, producer at Nationwide News, George Davis. And, we look forward to the leaders' debate on Thursday, the last of it, yeah? The remaining. Nationwide News will have live coverage tonight, starting at 8:30. So in public opinion this evening, it's the economy we're talking about. What question would you ask of tonight's debaters? If you were a questioner, what would you pose? Which questions would you pose to these, the JLP and the PNP's team? I'll start with the comments on our X platform. WAP is asking, by raising the tax threshold to 3.5 million, wouldn't this risk creating a ceiling effect? Whether young workers and professionals may prefer to stay under that income level to avoid taxes instead of striving for higher salaries and greater productivity? I want to tell you, I don't know who would not strive for higher salaries. But yes, that's a question coming from WAP. Graham Jervis is questioning, how do you plan to finance the tax cuts and over what time period are you looking at implementing them? Okay. Only Tweet is saying, I would like to know what prompted the PNP to promise something so major as a 3.5 million income tax threshold days before the election instead of in their budget presentation or in their manifesto. All right, those are the questions on our X platform. Let me go on over to our Instagram platform. Willie Ryan Wilson is questioning the PNP. He's saying the PNP has in more than one releases expressed their administration will place great focus on inclusivity for our people. Economically, he's asking the PNP to explain what inclusiveness means for the PNP and what groups are included in that framework. Now, J3T's Queen is asking a bugger question. With climate disaster becoming more frequent, what long-term economic strategies will you implement to protect homes, farms, and businesses? J3Ts is saying the last budget promised no new taxes. Will your government continue that trend or should Jamaicans prepare for tax increases? She's also asking, how will you balance Jamaica's debt obligations with the need to fund essential services? And I'll stop there because it's a host of questions. Hey, it's Lady Cutchinson is asking, explain how your tax proposals will be funded. Yeah? Miguelto, what a name. Miguelto is saying, if a JLP government has money to implement all their groundbreaking, ribbon cutting, and numerous promises in general, why wouldn't a PNP government have access to the same loads of money when they assume office? Wow, what a question. Is it the JLP's money or the people's money? What a question. Yardman is saying, saying, considering a potential 70 billion Jamaican dollar reduction in income tax revenue for individuals earning 3.5 million or less, how can the PNP guarantee the Jamaican public that this plan won't jeopardize the government's fiscal targets, undermine macroeconomic stability, or necessitate cuts to critical public sectors? I am very happy that our listeners, our viewers, the feedbacks, the comments that we've been receiving are really pointed questions. Really questions that, make sense. And it shows that you've been paying attention. It shows that you've been paying attention. How? Okay, let me see. Let me go on our Facebook platform now to see the comments, the question. What question would you ask of tonight's debaters? It's all about the economy. The economy is on display this evening. Lily Roses is questioning. Can't really say that wonder because it's unrelated. It's talking about all kind of things that's not related to the public opinion. All right, George Elliott is saying, of the PNP, why do you continue to say where the money will not come from to fund all your promises rather than where the money will come from? That's a question there from George Elliott. Philip Jackson is saying to the PNP, why should the Jamaican people give up achievement for promises? How can one fix what's not broken? Well, I want to tell you that every politician make promises, I'm just saying, yeah? Let me see. Bria Michaela is saying to JLP, do you think the increase to politicians were warranted? Why were other public servants not given such an increase? Healthcare is getting worse, and what have you done in the last decade to fix it? Please ignore recent cutting of ribbons or unveiling, but firm examples are needed. And she's saying to the PNP, do you think the increase to politicians were warranted, and what are the plans regarding such if you were to be elected as government? Dina J is saying to the JLP, why ridicule PNP manifestos over the years only to turn around and copy them? What can they do to restore Jamaica faith in their leadership as integrity and trustworthiness is questionable? That's to the JLP. For the PNP, how voting for your government would help to restore Jamaica where most citizens do not trust that the government has their best interest at heart. Moving on to our YouTubers, let's see. What question would you ask of tonight's debaters? Let's see. If I have a few coming in. Let me see. Wow, okay, everybody has said something unrelated. Everybody's saying something unrelated. M. Jam is saying, Bunting, how much you made from Finsac? Wow. Kevin saying, I would ask the PNP. Wow, wanna be nice, not be... Can you all be nice? Like, just ask the question. Let me see. Adisa is saying, for the PNP, how long will it take to fully implement an income tax threshold of 3.5 million? Does your proposal to remove income tax on overtime include honorarium that managers earn? Wow, okay. Ravaj is saying, what are the government's plans to create new economic opportunities, move away from tourism being our main contributor since it's uncertain? Okay. Patrick Rose says, I would ask if the PNP were so competent before now, how comes they're just going to give the people all these goodies for the first time at last? He's questioning what changed. Gemini is saying, I would like you to highlight that it was not only politicians got over 100% increase in salary. Well, I was just sticking to the question that was being asked. For the JLP, over what period will the income tax on earnings move from 25%, 30% to 15%? Is it over the same period the income tax threshold will move to 2 million? Okay. All right. I'm trying to get through to the questions. Just bear with me. Jamrock is saying, for the PNP, who will benefit from the 3.5 that's not benefiting from the 1.8? No. Simply Perfect is questioning, why would you vote for someone who gives themselves 300% increased salary and refrain from giving the civil servants a decent salary? Delano this is a question here. I would ask if Mr. Golding would leave if he loses the election. Wow. Y'all have some questions, man. Y'all have some questions, I swear. Let me see if I can get in at least a few more. Trying to scroll up to see the related questions. All right, thank you guys getting the wrap-up signal. Thank you guys so much for participating in our public opinion this evening. We look forward to the debates. Our coverage starts at 8:30, so do keep your station, keep your radio. If you're listening to the radio, keep your radio on. And if you're watching and listening on our YouTube, continue to do so. We start coverage at 8:30 p.m. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:34.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
32 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. International Biscuits Limited, IBL, has announced a recall of Butterkist vanilla sandwich cookies. IBL says during a routine inspection of its stock, it identified that 240 cases of Butterkist vanilla sandwich cookies did not meet its expected standards of quality. The products bear a best before date of January 10, 2026, manufactured between 7 a.m. and 8:44 a.m. IBL says there have been no reports to its offices concerning the consumption of this product. However, it says any existing inventory of the stated lots should be quarantined and must not be offered to customers. The matter is under investigation. IBL says customers who acquired the product over the period August 4 to 21, 2025, are asked to return it to the supplier from whom it was purchased and either ask for an alternative product or ask for a refund. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook will file a lawsuit challenging her removal by President Donald Trump, setting up a potential standoff between the president and the U.S. Central Bank. Her attorney says President Trump has no authority to remove Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. The president has said that there was sufficient reason to believe Cook had made false statements on her mortgage and cited constitutional powers which he said allowed him to remove her. The unprecedented move comes as Trump has put increasing pressure on the Fed, especially its chair, Jerome Powell, over what he sees as an unwillingness to lower interest rates. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 160 Jamaican dollars and 81 cents to buy $1 US, 216 Jamaican dollars and 42 cents to buy £1 British pound, and 117 Jamaican dollars and 94 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
The following is a paid announcement by G2K.
After 8 years of no new taxes under the Jamaica Labour Party administration, this is the PNP's Damian Crawford proposing an increase in GCT.
1% increase in GCT will give us $25 million. Education has never been free.
This is the PNP's Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding proposing an increase in GCT on food imports, which economists say will drive up food prices in Jamaica.
Now is the time that we must put a little thing on the imported food into the country.
And we put some of the income taxes, some of the taxes on the imports of food rather.
Prices would go up as we already import most of our inflation from food and fuel.
We cannot trust the PNP. The PNP is the party of new taxes. On election day, put your X beside the bell. Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by G2K.
GPS! Keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool. Enough ways to see it, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice and the juice. The fan AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC for a bit, then a fan after that. Keep it cool, I keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
A+ for back to school? Yep, you can score that. Just grab an A+ back to school loan from Access Financial. Why? Reduced interest rates, duh. Plus, you could win your loan interest-free.
That's right. Apply for an A+ back to school loan and you could be entered to win your loan interest-free in the Lucky Loans promotion.
From school fees to footwear, uniforms to book lists, we've got you covered.
For back to school, the only thing you need is a reduced rate loan from Access Financial's A+ back to school promotion. Conditions apply.
Getting ready for school is as easy as KB. Shop at Kingston Bookshop between July 14 to September 6, 2025 for your chance to win big in our back to school promotion. Spend just $5,000 before GCT, shop online or in store, and you could win $150,000 in cash, an HP laptop, or a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9. It's back to school the easy way, only at KB. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Did you know that you can vote without the new voter ID card? Once you're registered to vote, that is, your name is on the voters list, you can vote in the upcoming election. If you don't have your voter ID card, visit your polling station on election day and our trained election day workers will assist you. That was a message from the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
The 2025 bird shooting season will run from Saturday, August 23 to Sunday, September 28, 2025. Only the Zanada dove, white-winged dove, mourning dove, and the white-crowned pigeon may be hunted. Hunting sessions are sunrise to 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. to sunset on Saturdays, and from sunrise to 9 a.m. on Sundays. Only 20 birds may be shot during a session, and no more than 15 should be white-crowned pigeons. The head of each bird must be retained on the body for inspection. A message from the National Environment and Planning Agency.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
So we say vote for Labour. Vote for Labour. To Jamaica. And we say vote for Labour.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
You can still go through quicker and cheaper with a T-tag under the new toll rate structure. Effective August 23, there will be some changes to the toll rates at the Portmore, Spanish Town, Vineyards, and Maypen toll plazas. But don't worry, with a T-tag, all Class 1 and Class 2 customers will enjoy discounted rates for every single passage. Plus, your 10th weekly trip through the same toll plaza is free. Visit transjamhighways.com for details. Get your T-tag today from any manually operated toll booth on Transjam Highways.
This is the Race to 32, the battle for Jamaica House and the issues that matter. Your voice, your vote.
Well, good evening once again. 18 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And in the Race to 32 this evening, the Jamaica Labour Party's representative, or one of two representatives of the Labour Party and the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, Tom Tavares Vinson, is denouncing a declaration from PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell that the party will equip all its indoor agents with what he's calling integrity lamps on election day. Dr. Campbell made the assertion while speaking to comrades at a mass meeting in Mandeville on Sunday. He says the integrity lamps will be used to verify the voter IDs of electors.
I have taken a decision and we have bought integrity lamps for every single constituency so that we are going to train our indoor agents. Pick up your integrity lamp, look at the voter ID, look to the security bar, every single constituency that the PNP is putting up a candidate has been given their integrity lamp so they can look at the ID to make sure that the necessary security features are there.
That's Dr. Dayton Campbell, General Secretary of the People's National Party. However, Mr. Tavares Finson says Dr. Campbell is trying to misinform the electorate. The Electoral Commission also says no integrity lamp outside of the official equipment issues will be used to verify electors. It says only the presiding officer appointed by the Electoral Office is authorized to verify voter IDs.
In a statement on Tuesday, the Electoral Commission said only specified equipment under the control of the presiding officer is legally allowed in the vicinity of polling stations. No other person, including indoor agents, has the authority to carry out this verification. The Electoral Office is also reminding all registered political parties of the laws that govern procedures which apply to operations at polling stations. And Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says 7 constituencies across Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine will use the Electronic Voter Identification System, EVIS, to verify electors.
With EVIS, registered electors will be identified using their biometric data. EVIS is aimed at preventing impersonation of an elector, multiple voting by persons, and the use of unauthenticated ballots. Well, to discuss this further, we're now being joined by the GLP's representative on the ECJ, Tom Tavares Finson.
Good evening.
Hi, Siobhan. Hi, Cliff. Hi to your listeners. Hope you all are doing well.
Good. Well, when I heard the comment first this morning from Dr. Campbell, I was surprised because isn't Dr. Campbell a member of the Electoral Commission?
Yeah, he is a member of the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission has put out a statement indicating exactly what the position is. Yeah. And Dr. Campbell, is well aware of it. I mean, it's nothing that is particularly new. Indoor agents are allowed to enter the station with a file with their voters list in that file and nothing else. They're not permitted to use any telephone or any device in the station. And the conduct of the process in this polling station is strictly within the purview of the presiding officer.
And when the Dr. Campbell has met with the commissioners, did he bring this matter up in terms of equipping the party's indoor agents with these, as he called them, integrity lamps? Was this a discussion that was had?
I really wouldn't get into that, but the matter was not raised at the Integrity Commission.
So you were hearing about this for the You were hearing about this for the first time on radio today?
No. Issue was raised, but it was not in terms of what I then subsequently heard on the radio.
I'm not following that answer.
An issue was raised at the Integrity Commission.
You mean the Electoral Commission?
Sorry, what did I say? Integrity Commission, the Electoral Commission. An issue was raised, but it was not dealt with in depth. It wasn't until subsequent to that discussion that I actually heard what was being said on the platform.
And what was that issue that was raised at the Electoral Commission?
Concerning comments that had been made about the use of the integrity lamp, but it wasn't in detail. It's when I heard the thing subsequently, and when the Electoral Commission heard the statement subsequently, that the Commission issued the statement, and I also issued a statement to that.
Tell us, you're now no longer Senator, but I'm so used to saying Senator Finson, so I beg your pardon. Mr. Finson, tell the voters, yes, exactly, you did say it, but upon entering the polling station.
Yes? Upon entering the polling station, the voter will present to the presiding officer his or her identification card. The card will be verified by the presiding officer with the use of an integrity lamp. The indoor agents of both political parties are able to observe that process. Having established that the person who is in front of you, or in front of the presiding officer, is the holder of the card, a ballot is issued with instructions to enter a polling booth and mark the ballot with the pencil provided with an X. I should also point out that as a part of the process, both agents for the PNP and the GLP will have voters' lists provided in the station by the Electoral Commission, which has a photograph of the individual who is coming in to vote. So if there is a discrepancy between the card and the person standing there, then that person would be flagged as a potential fraudulent voter.
Mm-hmm.
If the person does not have an identification card, then there is a procedure which then comes into play with the reference to what is referred to as the black book that has personal information in it, which ought to be known only by the individual standing in front of the presiding officer.
Mm-hmm.
And also the use of that photographic voters list and the photograph in the back book would be used to identify that voter. Mm-hmm. So the commission encourages people to get your ID beforehand, find your ID if you have it in a drawer somewhere, because it speeds up the process.
Mm-hmm.
And Sir Vincent, what could be fathomed? Because we've known these procedures regarding the electoral process for years now. This is not new information that should come to any surprise to Dr. Dayton Campbell. What could he be fathoming by suggesting the need for an integrity lamp for indoor agents?
I cannot answer that question. Best direct it to him. I heard a phrase once that says an individual may be seasoning the red herring. I don't know if that's what that's about. I really honestly don't know.
And seasoning the red herring means?
Perhaps looking for an excuse. I don't know what to say beyond that. I can't understand it either.
All right, there's one other thing I want you to speak to. So the voter turns up, goes in the polling station. There is a presiding officer who is in control, the poll clerk, and the two indoor agents representing the JLP and the PNP.
Yes.
And one of those indoor agents asks the voter for his ID card to put under that lamp.
The presiding officer would ask for the ID if the voter has it and put it under the lamp. Both GLP and PNP scrutineers would only be, indoor agents would only be observing that process.
So if an indoor agent from either party were to ask you, to take a look at their voter ID card, you should tell them no.
There is no obligation for the voter to give any of the indoor agents your identification card. The other thing I would just like to briefly say is that every ballot has a number on it. And that number is noted when the ballot is handed to the individual. But once the ballot is marked, the number is removed. So there is no possibility of identifying the voter.
Mm-hmm.
The number is separated from the ballot. So no ballot goes into the box with the number, which would identify the voter. So there is the secrecy of the ballot is maintained in that way.
Well, given the stridency of the PNP General Secretary in the clip we have been hearing, what if the PNP indoor agent insists that they're following the instructions of their General Secretary and they turn up with the integrity lamps in the polling stations? What will happen or should happen?
The sole authority in the polling station is the presiding officer. And all our presiding officers have been trained and are well aware of the laws relating to such matters.
And what should they do?
They should not allow the person into the polling station with a lamp. And if necessary, they call the police to intervene in it. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm. So the advice to the voters today, Mr. Commissioner, is any such attempt by any indoor agent, whether PNP or GLP, to look at your voter ID should be refused.
Must be resisted because, remember I'm telling you, that the presiding officer will take the card from the individual and place it under the integrity lamp. And the individuals from both political parties will be observing that process. So there is no need for either of them to handle your ID card.
Mm-hmm.
And just a final one for me, Sir Vincent. Has there been any discussions at all at the level of the commission for a need to change or otherwise modify the procedures on election day as they have stood for so long now?
Well, what is happening, we have some new equipment which is being introduced, and I suspect that this may very well be the last election, the last general election that is held without further and widespread use of this equipment. Because the equipment which is now being employed in 7 constituencies has the capacity to identify the voter by way of your fingerprint, and it brings up all your biometric information once your finger is placed on the machine. It is intended, I would imagine, at some time in the future to use visual identification in relation to that same piece of equipment. Mm-hmm. But that would be perhaps by the next election. It would be more widespread.
Mm-hmm.
But what is happening there now has served us well over the years. But with the advance in terms of technology, we will move towards mechanizing the process, as it were.
Mm-hmm. And for those persons who have expired voter ID cards, and will not pick up their new cards before next week, Wednesday, what should they expect when they turn up to vote?
They certainly should walk with the expired card, because it would give the presiding officer an indication, perhaps, of the individual's biometrics and so on, which would make it easier to locate them in the black book. So if you have the expired card, walk with it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and if you don't have it?
If you don't have it, turn up to vote in any event, but expect that they're going to ask you some questions in relation to your identification, and they're going to be checking your image, your photograph, against the photograph that the indoor agents have and which are in the black book.
Mm-hmm. How many polling stations are we likely to have across the island come next week, Wednesday, Mr. Commissioner?
I can't give you the number offhand, I'm sorry.
Oh. And how many workers, how many presiding officers, poll clerks are we going to have manning the system?
Well, each polling station has a presiding officer and a poll clerk, and they are one representative from each political party, as well as outdoor agents and auxiliary policemen and so on. So it's a very large number.
Mm-hmm. Are we ready, Mr. Commissioner?
The Electoral Commission was aware that there was going to be an election this year, and we were aware that it was going to be within a particular time frame. The training of the election day workers begun sometime in May, June. It is now complete, and the Election Commission, Electoral Office of Jamaica, is ready to conduct the election.
Mm-hmm. And we should, all things considered, given our experience now at this, we're now a world leader, sir, in running elections, aren't we?
Absolutely. And as I have said, over the last couple of years, we have begun to introduce technology into the process. And as we go on and move forward, that will take a greater role in the process.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you very much, Senator Tom Tavares.
Thank you very much. God bless, and have a good evening.
Tom Tavares Vincent. And may I ask you before you go, Mr. Vincent, you've been around this for a long time, yes? When was the first time you contested an election? Tell the youngsters.
I ran against Portia Simpson in 1980. In that election, there were, I think, 16,000 people on the list. I think that Portia Simpson got probably 18,000 and I got 10,000. Go figure. And in that election, I actually nominated a V150 tank because I couldn't get to this. The station was in top of Greenwich Town.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pass Maxfield Avenue off of Spanish Town Road.
because those areas were strong PNP areas with armed units.
Well, it's a completely different time, and you look back with almost horror, because in that constituency, Southwest St. Andrew, it was really an area of extreme violence. And I'm sure that many of your listeners don't know that there were a number of massacres in that constituency. There was, I think, 6 or 7 people killed one night in Greenwich Farm, and another maybe 5 or 6 killed in what they refer to as back to. It was a dreadful time. I think that arising out of the 1980 experience, the political leadership of the country had an awakening, and out of that came the Electoral Advisory Committee and now the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
Yeah. And those were dreadful days for a candidate having to use a V-150 armored car. Tells you the firepower that was being used in the streets of Kingston and St. Andrew and Jamaica at the time.
It was not really a time that recommends itself in the history of this country. But as I said, I think that better sense prevailed with both Mr. Manley and Mr. Seaga, which eventually resulted in the establishment of the Electoral Advisory Committee and the removal of the conduct of elections from the government or any particular party or individuals.
Yeah. You had some near misses, didn't you?
Yeah, I had some near misses, but as I said, it was the time, and one candidate was killed on the night before election.
Roy McGann.
Up in West Rural St. Andrew. So it was not a good time all around.
East Rural St. Andrew. It was East Rural St. Andrew.
East Rural, yeah.
Gordon Town.
Yeah, and Glenn Webley was shot in East Kingston. So it was not a good time. Different days, really. And that is why it's so important to sort of temper down, and certainly from the point of view of the Electoral Commission, to temper the rhetoric as much as possible. And try and approach things in a Jamaica first, as opposed to party first attitude. And that's how we try to operate at the Electoral Commission.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tom Tavares Vincent.
Thank you very much.
Good.
You know, Cliff, that reminiscing on the concerns of the olden days versus now, where we have, I would say, near absolute confidence in our electoral system.
Yes.
It really raises a concern as to why Dr. Dayton Campbell, a member of the ECJ, felt it necessary to even suggest to his supporters the need to have a verification system separate and apart from the one practiced by the EOJ. What is he suggesting?
I don't know, and I won't try to second guess Dayton.
I'm sure we'll get, as usual, some clarity in the coming hours or days.
Yeah. But you know, the point you make about how far we have come, is always a point to be taken, because you heard there, a candidate to be nominated on nomination day in 1980, 45 years ago, had to travel in a V-150 JDF armored vehicle. It tells you the state of security in the country at the time, or lack of security in the country. The two political parties.
The nation was at war, essentially.
We were at war. We were engaged in a civil war. You know, Michael Manley had announced in January of 1980, as part of his New Year's message, that, listen, we were going to have elections that year. And he was virtually forced to announce that because the country was in such the level of instability, the level of tension, operations in the country were virtually crippled. And there were a lot of speculation over whether we would have an election and how soon, so we could settle down. But you know what happened? The moment Manley announced to the country that we were going to have elections in 1980, he did this in January. That marked the unofficial start of the campaign. Because it was meant to ease tension, but it confirmed, that if we're going to have elections this year, it's all systems go. And we were into a long campaign from January 1980 to October 30, 1980. Just imagine that. You heard Tom said? In the news, you know what was the news like every day? 5 people were shot and killed in Greenwich Farm, or somewhere in West Central St. Andrew, or somewhere in West Kingston. Yeah? All the major hotspots, where the political gunmen were running rampant. Every day it was how many people had been shot in political violence.
Honestly, it was somewhere in nearly, 800 people?
800 people were killed. 800 people were killed. Yes, in politically related conflicts.
All I can say, Mr. Hughes, I as someone who studies history, there are certain periods in time that I'd like to observe, not necessarily live, but I wish I was able to observe it. And the 1980s in Jamaica, that ideological struggle and the violence, I don't want to live it, and I wouldn't like to see Jamaica going back there, but I'd have loved to have been the fly on the wall in terms of spectating and observing what essentially was the molding of a nation, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I remember it, and there were times when I thought, okay, it could be you tomorrow. It could be you tonight. Yeah? And that was when I think the violence in Jamaica became normalized. Yeah? Killing people were nothing. We no longer put a premium, as there was no longer any sanctity
to
human life. Yeah? And it has scarred us for the better part of 40, 50 years.
And the violence is no longer political, but it has remained social, as a stain.
Yeah. We have socialized it. Time for the break.
Jamaica's unemployment rate has fallen to 3.3%, down from 13.2% in 2016. Our government's continued focus on job creation is delivering real results. We are building Jamaica. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
6 minutes after 7. All right, so we're going to open the lines now to take your calls. The numbers 876-630-937124 or 876-618-8255. Call us.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
Calling all registered community groups. Digicel Foundation Salute 21 grant is here. Apply for up to $2 million in funding for your community project. This year, we're expanding our focus to include digital projects and initiatives uplifting seniors. Applications close August 31. Visit www.digicelfoundation.org to apply. Digicel Foundation, creating a world where no one gets left behind.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
We create more jobs for Jamaicans, build road and better education. We make communities safer, ring the bell and vote for Labour. There is no party next to we, the greatest team in history. Jamaica Labour Party marching on to victory. We do so much already, now we doing more.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
You can still go through quicker and cheaper with a T-tag under the new toll rate structure. Effective August 23, there will be some changes to the toll rates at the Portmore, Spanish Town, Vineyards, and Maypen toll plazas. But don't worry, with a T-tag, all Class 1 and Class 2 customers will enjoy discounted rates for every single passage. Plus, your 10th weekly trip through the same toll plaza is free. Visit transjamhighways.com for details. Get your T-tag today from any manually operated toll booth on Transjam Highways.
Track and Field's global showpiece heads back to Asia for its 2025 staging. The World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan is live on Nationwide 90 FM. September 13 to 21.
Great start from Seville, who's got a little bit of a march on Noel Lyles. Seville's going to win this. Brilliant race. He even has time to salute.
How will the Jamaicans stack up? The likes of Kishane, Oblique, Nikisha, Tina, Sherika, and Lavelle, all seeking podium spots.
Really good running on the near side too from Tia Clayton. Tia Clayton takes it there.
And the world will say goodbye to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Watch for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
She brings the curtain down on her 18-year career. She goes back to where it all started.
And she's going to do it. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Live every moment from the World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan, September 13 to 21 live with a kind of coverage only Nationwide 90 FM provides.
Ten minutes after 7, the Prime Minister and JLP leader is out on the campaign trail at this hour in St. Mary. I think last time we saw he was in Western St. Mary with the JLP's candidate and party chairman, Robert Montague. I gather he just responded to the PNP's $3.5 million income tax threshold proposal. Let's listen to what he said.
You may have heard about a proposal to increase the income tax threshold to $3.5 million per employed individual. I want to say to you that nothing is free. If you did that, that would cost twice the cost of the Spark program. It would mean that you would have to give up fixing 660 roads twice across Jamaica in order to pay for that. All right? If you don't want to give that up, then what else would you give up? Water, hospital, what we spend on the police, youth murders. These are all questions that every well-thinking Jamaican must ask. We as a government have been able to increase spending on road, water, healthcare, education, and national security. And we have managed to do that without increasing the debt. If you increase the debt, you're going to have to pay it back. And if you have to pay it back, you have to pay it back from somewhere. And that means they will ask you for more taxes. We have come to you with 10 budgets actually, and we have not asked you to pay any new taxes. I want you to consider that. And that is because we have been very careful that the things that we promise you and the things that we spend on are things that won't come back to put burdens on you. I ask all well-thinking Jamaicans, we have gone through a difficult time a decade ago. We all sacrificed to put in place something called fiscal discipline. That means good management of the economy. Do not let it go to waste over stupid promises.
Well, a very strong statement there from the Prime Minister regarding that $3.5 million increase in the threshold by the People's National Party. Now, I want to put this in a way where listeners can understand, because I've spoken to members of the People's National Party who suggested that they're not suggesting they're going to put the thing in place right away, immediately to $3.5 million. But I counter that by looking at the advertisements they've put forward and the statements by their spokespersons that is not clear. What you put in the public domain is a suggestion that the teachers will get $35,000 more take-home pay if the People's National Party forms government. What does that put forward in terms of the minds of the Jamaican people versus what you're suggesting quietly to journalists and in back doors and back rooms?
So in one breath, in one space, they're saying it will have to be introduced over 3 to 4 years.
That's what I've been told. I won't name the individual, but they're well placed within the People's National Party, and they've made it clear to me that this is not a proposal they're suggesting is going to be immediately put out.
But the advertising and marketing of
suggests as much.
That you're going to get it immediately.
Yes, it gives a comparison that the threshold is now here, the threshold will be here. And I'm saying, why would you then attempt to mislead the Jamaican people in that way?
Because they're hunting votes. That's what they're doing. They're hunting votes. Yeah. So be careful of that. Richie, good evening.
Good evening, Chris.
Good evening,
Good evening, Siobhan.
Good evening, Richie.
Chris, when you talk about the Haiti's, it's like a hurt that's read me. I just does not love to relate. 1980 election was like a civil war. I can remember right now when Roy Madden was shot. I can remember when Everett Wilmington was shot up by Marcus Penn.
Who?
Yeah, that driver. Everett Wilmington.
Everett Wilmington.
Yes, when he was shot up by Marcus Penn. And he had a driver by the name of Wayne. We used to call him Joel Boy because his father named Joel. And the bank came in very night. They dropped him to a ditch and he died same place. And then afterward, Everett Wilmington talk who shot him. I mean, that hurt me to the core. But those days are gone, and we're hoping that we'll never see anything like this anymore.
And we had Ferdinita being shot in St. Catherine. Mike Henry, what year was Mike Henry shot in Clarendon? Do you recall?
Yes, man.
That was 76 or 1980?
I think it was 80. It was 80.
Yes.
But anyway, let me move on. Siobhan.
Yes, sir.
I listen you ask President Charles Jr. a question this evening. Why should we believe in the manifesto? And it's one answer she'll give you. That we have a book with 257 studied achievements. He didn't want it. He didn't have a need to tell you anything more because that is a confidence that the JP have to tell you that to know that anything that they can to do, that they will do. That's a confirmation, you know.
Well, Richie, that's fair if you have that level of confidence. And I'm not suggesting, based on what the JLP has accomplished in terms of their manifesto from 2020, and myself and Ricardo went through it, they have that record of essentially fulfilling many of their manifesto promises in terms of social and economics. The matters regarding fixed elections, etc., that were waffled on, but I believe that wasn't actually in the 2020 manifesto either way. That was something said by the Prime Minister at some point. So that's fair, but remember, the criticism leveled by the JLP at the People's National Party was their lack of costing and a lack of a credible, essentially, plan to put in place these projects and other funds that they intend to put forward. So isn't it fair to put that to the JLP as well, saying, you want to suggest that you're new and different, show that, yes, we can tell you as the Jamaican people from this day how much we plan to spend and invest in the country going forward. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, that's not real, but listen me now. How can we have a fixed election date when you have a operation with telling people?
I'm not advocating for, don't make the mistake of thinking I'm advocating for that. I'm just suggesting that it was something that was suggested that would be put forward and it never came to fruition. That's all I'm suggesting.
But the point I'm making, how could we have the JLP have a fixed election date when we have an opposition who send in the voters to vote in their people name?
No. I don't see the connection there. No. There's no connection between the two.
No connection there?
No.
Okay,
no,
you don't see, but anyway, let me move on. You see that what the Ethnic Chamber said? They are saying that we are the opposition, but we are running the government. And if you can remember, other day, he said that if the JLP does not call the election date, we're going to call it. That is what they have to, you know. We are in opposition, we are not running the government. People might not know, but that's what they're saying. But I'm going to move on. You know that day I was talking with that lady. Her mother-in-law is in the and she complained how she go there, how long she have to wait and whatever. And it reminds me that one of the best things that happened in Jamaica is Bruce Gordon went to with the trade care. You know how much money this government is paying yearly for trade care? It's not a little bit of money. I think it's something that they should even have had. Because you find on the PMP parties out there hammering the government with all these things when they are really cause of it, because all the problems that we have in the country now, most of the problems there are caused by them. And this government is there trying to fix it, and it's not possible for them to do everything in one day, in the time, you know. It's a lot. You know, one thing that I appreciate, Andrew, when you talk about the bitter medicine. And until now, some PMP supporters beating for it. But the man was honest to talk, because they know exactly the things that he had was to do to bring back the country, and he's putting and he's doing it. And it's not possible for it to be done in that short term, because as I said before, you know, you see, it was for the COVID, the things that they achieved, the 247 achievements, if it wasn't COVID, it would reach a long time. It would reach in less than 6 years and money. And the amount of money that they spent in the COVID, lost in the COVID, if it wasn't for that, the country would be weird right now.
Yeah, we lost 2 years to COVID at least.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, yes.
Yes. And it's about the chickpea. The chickpea, I mean, with the chickpea again, that would make it up to 3 years. So if it wasn't for that little bit amount of time, you know, for the country right now. And as I said again, the free care, the amount of money that this government is paying for the free care. But a lot of people does not even know about it, and they don't even appreciate it again, because if you talk with some of the PMP people, they will be honest, but a lot of them is just because they must say not go so, or nothing can go so, because they don't love the party. But whoever work with, let's say that again.
We have to go now, Richie. We have to give somebody else a chance. Yes? Papa Nana, good evening.
Good. Mr. Hughes, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
And your co-host?
Evening, Papa Nana. How are you doing?
God bless you. Well, bless my soul, man. Even if I don't even get to say anything much. I am batting for the people in action in Westmoreland. Mr. Hughes, they don't have nationwide on the radio there.
Yes, we know that we have a power failure at our Huntley transmitter site, which has had a knock-on effect, in parts of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland.
Yes, and a part of Montego Bay.
Right. Yeah.
Please, Mr. Hughes.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you people know the amount of listenership that nationwide has, you know.
I suspect we do.
I think you people underestimate the listenership at nationwide, you know.
No, we don't. And anyway, it pains me whenever I get the reports. Yeah.
And it pains me too, because
yes, it does.
You don't know what happens. I feel like them when I can't get nationwide, you know.
And they call you. You're the advocate.
Yes. And I am telling you, Mr. Hughes, we beg yourself to look about them for me. Do.
Yes, we are.
All right. My next move now, I will be quick. You know, the only thing that I don't hear the PNP promise Jamaican people is eternal life, you know. Two things that I don't hear they promise the Jamaican people is eternal life and what you would call it, the natural food for what the guy name Polak, Jerry Polak, or what name.
You mean that one from HQ?
Yes.
The perennial liar?
That is the only two things that I don't hear they promise eternal life and a natural food for Polak. My God in heaven, I am telling you, they promise every single thing. And Mr. Hughes, I want to say something to you, because when people come on nationwide, you have to be careful how you talk, because you're not a person, nationwide people is not a person who put up with stupidness. But let me tell you something. Did you know that crime in this country was a very thriving business? When last year when the new parlor put up, since Dr. Chang really come out and put a dent on crime? Right? It was a thriving business. I can tell you, a lot of people make millions of dollars out of crime. You understand? And when you look and see what crime comes down in this country, and not even one place in the PNP manifesto, you don't hear them come out and say nothing about crime. Then you want to tell me in the name of God, can you be trusted? Can you trust this opposition to be government? My God, you want to tell me that Jamaica people would be so stupid that you tell me that not even a house you own in Jamaica you would want to become the Prime Minister of this country? Mr. Hughes, one last thing, the Prime Minister of his ear to the ground. I don't know if you remember, because you have a lot of things to think about. You remember me saying that the Prime Minister cannot set fish pot in swimming pool if he want to catch Janga? You remember me saying it?
Yes.
Well, the Prime Minister has listened. You see where he carry the fish back go set river where he can catch a lot of Janga.
Which river he carry go set?
Oh, you mean the people they move Malaysia to river? Who have the vote?
Oh.
You don't realize that?
No.
Mr. Hughes, the gentleman's popularity is growing every day more and more and more and more and more. Right? And I'm giving somebody else a chance. Let me tell the people of Jamaica, please do not try to mend a fence that is not broken. This service is unbroken and it will continue. Do not vote here at night belly full. Please, Jamaican people, I'm begging. A lot of who want to become Prime Minister interest is not in Jamaica. Thank you very much, Mr. Hughes.
All right, Papa Nana. You gave me a big warning.
Chris, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sir Campbell and Sir Cliff. Wagwan, how you do?
Good evening. I'm good. And you?
All right. First, I want to say congratulations to Auntie Paula, who leaves in office on the 19th of September. She has done a wonderful job. And I want to tell you, me no know how me could have out of myself and vote for PNP. Who try to leak food out of Auntie Paula plate, carry gala coat. My mother, my sister, my auntie. Huh? But it's such a wonderful job to Jamaica. I'm going to try to back food out of her plate. So, man, see me again. I don't know if you did listen to 5 minutes. Marlene speed Sunday, I'm going to be the last 5 minutes. Either 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I thought me and Marlene go and talk. He punched the man through there. In the last couple of minutes there. It's my last circle. Put me to get out of. They put on a Timberland. It wasn't the clock. And another thing again, Sir Cliff. Papa Nana, good evening, my father. Bless you, love you. I want the family. Let's start in. Next week, Wednesday. Make a finger do the talking and the walking. Make a whole of we go vote. We now change it. The man already set the platter and I put food in there. Make it continue. Else you no go back but you syrup and mix to no tea. Yeah? And I whole parade freezer I only give people them. And my wife dead and gone and I get no like sweet money and no wild dash out the road. And she have a big civil servant. Now I do no man. One bro God will say, Uncle Cliff, good night. Good night, Mr. Campbell.
Good night,
Good
sir.
night.
Good night. Howard?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Cliff. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Good evening.
Siobhan, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. It come to my mind, Dayton Campbell, Where I'm really up to. You mean Jamaica no good? You say this man look like him in Jamaica no good, Mr. Cliff.
I can't get inside his mind, to answer that question with any degree of certainty.
You think you should get arrested and lock up for make them speech there? Because from long time you're talking about the taxi man them and some foolishness.
No, those are not offenses for him to be.
No, but what Mr. Cliff, when you got a try scare people not to go to the polling station, when you go come up with scare tactics saying that you go have some lighting and so forth, think that is a offense, Mr. Cliff?
No. Is it?
I don't believe so. In terms of the actual act of carrying out that matter by indoor agents, that would be an offense. But I said the suggestion put forward by Dayton Campbell in terms of allowing him to say it on a campaign platform, that itself is not an offense. It is misinforming and it should be condemned, but I don't believe it would rise to the level of an offense.
Oh boy. Mr. Campbell, them fi know better. Mr. Bunting, because one next thing again, if they form government, they would have to, America with them plan to, we would have to have a structure with America, a business, we'd have to do business with them. So when them keep on lashing out on the bus service that the minister Darrell Vaz get from America, these bus, they would have to go to like a table to discuss matters about the Jamaica economic. And when these guys come out and start all these things about the bus, and do you think they are misleading the people that Mr. Hughes?
They were trying to, and it became a very hot political issue. But I see the polls. One poll has found that a majority of 55% of the Jamaican public are in support of the rural school bus program. Yeah. So
Mr. Hughes, to me, they would have cut off America. They wouldn't want to do business with America then.
No,
if them farm government.
No, I don't know you can make that leap. No, sir, it doesn't go that far.
I don't believe this was the deal to acquire the buses was not with the U.S. government.
Yes.
I believe it was with a private company.
Yes.
Oh, it's a private company. I thought it was like somebody in Washington would,
I'm sure some level of brokering took place at the diplomatic level, but I'm sure the final deal was most likely inked between the government and a private entity.
Okay. Next question, Mr. Hughes. You have to go vote this time on.
I always vote, sir.
Okay. And make your staff them aware too.
No, I don't try to influence my staff. That they are all adults here. What by law, we have to give them 3 hours to vote, and we do that every time without fail.
But tell them to vote JLP, man.
No. Can't do
That's
that.
not good. Mr. Hughes would never attempt to impose on his staff like that.
No.
All right, Mr. Hughes. Big up on yourself,
Good. Take care.
All right, good evening.
Evening, Shaban. Evening, Cliff. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you, Shaban?
Doing quite well. How are you doing, sir?
Me good now. Me good. Before I come to you, Shaban, who is the financial whiz, Mr. Hughes, that video that was making the rounds last week with this young gentleman from out Jesse's constituency, have the PNP condemned that video and distanced themselves from all the things that he said?
I haven't heard that. If they have, I haven't heard it. He was arrested and then released, and then he was charged. You know that.
As any of the people who used to come out against Mr. Warmington or Darrell Vaz or anything, when none of what they have said has reached this level? Have you heard any one of them condemning that this man saying he's going to kill Jamaicans?
No.
So, Mr. Hughes, I like also something as the godfather of this when we want to break something open and interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
I can bet you my last $100 that if it was Everett Warmington or Darrell Vaz who said that, they will be all over them.
Mm-hmm.
All over them. And I know this Prime Minister would have distanced himself from it. But even if he did, they would be all over now. And I don't hear a squeak. The woman who him saying would have killed people for I said, no, she's a liar, ain't it?
Yes. Yes.
And not a word out of her, Mr. Hughes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not a word out of Mark. Not a word out of Dayton Campbell who just talk what him trying to do now. Dayton Campbell knows that no indoor worker can carry anything inside the polling station. The presiding officer is the authority inside the polling station. And he's using the scare tactics to tell people, them buy machine to every polling station. I saw them have money to waste.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to make of it, Alric, because it befuddles me that Mr. Campbell, Dr. Campbell, isn't aware of the rules governing the conduct of the elections in the polling stations, and that indoor agents have no say.
He's aware, Mr.
No
He's
say.
a part of the sitting the commission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know if there's another subplot, subtext to this. I don't know.
But how would that benefit them now, Mr. Hughes? That's scare tactics. How would that benefit them now? Because if I am going there to just give one vote, it's one time I can go and mark an extra, it wouldn't scare me away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the days when people used to vote all 10 times and 20 times that we know about. So the one vote, we have come so far, that won't scare anybody away. So sometimes I wonder how Mr. Campbell think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to attempt to explain that one.
Siobhan, for you know, quickly. Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
I heard Troy giving Mr. Hughes the other day a streetwise lesson on street politics, economics, and caught out Mr. Crawford. What this figure? Where would we get the money from? How long would it take? Say the PNP wins next Wednesday. God forbid that. And the next budget is going to be read next year. Where is the money going to come from? Where's the logic that shows where the money will come from?
I honestly would not be able to answer that question. As I said, other economists who weighed in on this situation suggest, based on the fiscal positioning into the next fiscal year, this matter of increasing the threshold probably couldn't be done for at least 2-3 years. At least not at that level. So even if they did attempt to put it in place, it would not be 3.5. I highly doubt it would be 3.5 million on 26-27 fiscal year. I just don't see that as a possibility.
They had said that 1.5 couldn't work. So how they gonna put it to 3.5 and we haven't paid any taxes in at least 9 years? So, Mr. Hughes?
Yes, sir.
My big sister out in Trelawney called me this evening.
Mm-hmm.
She's listening to you the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She was just scrolling and found the station. So let me big her up here. So she has not listened to you for years, and she says she's not taking it up. She's going to listen to you right through again.
Very good. Thank you, Miss Hazel.
Her name is Hazel.
Thank you, Hazel, of Jacksontown in Trelawney. Stay tuned.
This is cool and fine. Years now, then couldn't get to me. Her husband died and didn't get to listen to you in his final days.
Oh, dear.
And he never used to move from you. So and she told me this evening, bam, she find it and she make the needle stick now. All right, guys. Have a good evening.
Take care.
Time.
Good. Alric, 22 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. Bobby.
Yes, good evening, Sir Hughes. Good evening, Siobhan.
Good evening, sir.
First I want to commend Nationwide, I think Nationwide should put their tagline, reason for radio. Because trust me, Nationwide bring everything to the people of this country. No matter what Dayton scramble and the rest of them in the party want to say about Nationwide, them cannot keep a good station down. You see, I just want to commend George and his commentary the other morning when he was talking about our manifesto. And to be honest, Sir Cliff, I think when you retire, I am, as a justice of the peace, I am giving you a verbal recommendation to let Mr. Davis replace you.
Oh, I hear you, Bobby. I hear you.
Yes, man. And, and to be honest, and you have another excellent talk show host. Although he's overseas, he's my good friend. That's Tyrone.
Yes.
Boy, I don't know where to put Siobhan and
Ricardo.
Ricardo, I don't know. But you see, Ricardo,
this is Siobhan.
Siobhan, try and remember way back in the 80s and the 90s when the PMP tried to win a general election. Every year they give the people empty pipe dream promises. So that salary thing that you hear they are talking about, the teachers and thing, that is a pipe dream. And from what I observe from a layman point of view, this PMP opposition, I think they are trying everything to try and win the next general election coming September. But they have a next guest coming. Jamaicans are no fool, right? Because when we hear certain things coming from Mr. Golden, how is it the Jamaican people, even those who cannot read and write, will really put a man like that to be in charge of this economy? No. It won't work. So finally, I just want to say, continue the good work Nationwide and his team.
Sir.
And George, big up, man, big up.
Yes.
You are doing an excellent job, George.
In just over an hour, you will be marshalling the debate on the economy.
Right, yes, I
you
know.
will be moderating. Yes?
Right, I know. And Cliff, and pertaining to the debate commission, you see, to be honest, I hold a strong view, although Matthew Samuda and Charles and Camila have done well the other night, but I still hold a view that I don't think private sector companies should really waste money in that entity. That $25 million should go towards parents who find it hard to send back their children to school coming September. Because, the politicians, they don't have enough time to answer all the questions thrown to them. So I think, to be honest, that is just a waste of money, and they should really find something else to do instead of having a political debate. Okay, then, yeah, sir.
All right, Bobby. Let's go to the break and come back with more of your calls.
Escape to Idlewild in a grill where sand and serenity meet. Visit idlewild.com or call 876-957-3302. Idlewild and stay a while.
The following is a paid announcement by G2K.
After 8 years of no new taxes under the Jamaica Labour Party administration, this is the PNP's Damian Crawford proposing an increase in GCT.
1% increase in GCT will give us $25 billion. Education has never been free.
This is the PNP's Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding proposing an increase in GCT on food imports, which economists say will drive up food prices in Jamaica.
Now is the time that we must put a little thing on the imported food into the country.
And we put some of the income taxes, some of the taxes on the imports of food rather.
Prices would go up as we already import most of our inflation from food and fuel.
We cannot trust the PNP. The PNP is the party of new taxes. On election day, put your X beside the bell. Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by G2K.
Before we go to the next call, Cliff, I have a statement here from the PSOJ, and it's regarding the two tax increase. Well, I won't say tax increases, actually. The two tax proposals put forward by both political parties. And I think this is a reasonable request. They've requested some information to say to preserve Jamaica's hard-won macro stability. The PSOJ calls on both parties to publish detailed implementation plans covering 1. 5-year revenue impacts and financing offset measures, sequencing and start dates, debt and primary balance implications, distributional effects across income bands, and contingency triggers if growth underperforms. And I think these are reasonable requests by the PSOJ to be asking to both political parties in terms of their tax proposals.
Very good. Could you repeat that?
So it is... They've asked for a 5-year revenue impact and financing offset, sequencing and start dates, debt and primary balance implications, distributional effects across income bands, and contingency triggers if growth underperforms.
Good. All right. Questions for the JLP and the PNP from the private sector organization?
Yes, from the PSOJ.
Gary, good evening.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, I just want to ask you, when you say a poll coming out again, that's the first question.
It is due to be published on Thursday afternoon.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question, Mr. Youth, for you. When you have a caller, right, I'm going to use the example of Ulrich that just spoke to you a while ago. When he represents, when you speak of the argument with the guy down in St. Elizabeth, and he was asking you if you have heard any of the persons from the PNP come out and would criticize him and distance themselves from the comments that he made, right? And if it was done by Mr. Warmington and Mr. Vaz, the country would be up in arms of them speaking in such way. But what Ulrich need to understand is that Mr. Warmington and Mr. Vaz is public figure, member of parliament, that is held in a higher standard than the person that would have made the comment. And the person who would have made the comment would have been dealt with by the law, right?
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
So it wasn't I have to say a Mark Golding matter. It has to do with a police matter, right? So when
I think that's where I disagree with you. I think it still behooves the political parties to distance themselves or at least condemn certain comments coming from their members or supporters if it crosses a certain line. I'm not suggesting that they should be held to a different standard, or I should say to the same standard as a supporter, but it still requires a certain level of distancing.
Yes. So, and when I talk about that, is I'm an avid listener, right? And I heard many occasions where members would have, listeners would have called the program and misrepresent facts, and from facts that they speak about, and persons who are moderator at the time on the program do not correct them. They laugh and don't fact check them and say to them what they're speaking is not true.
Go on. Is there more to where you're going?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, I can say that it would be a problem. I mean, sometimes you don't necessarily know the information is factual or not factual. But I think, to the best of my knowledge, most people are nationwide. If we feel an untruth has been said, we try to correct it. If we failed in that, we will say, well, we missed this and we apologize for it. That is the standard we hold ourselves to.
Yes. So when people misrepresent what is facts from not true, I think the station should correct them. And
we do to the best of our knowledge, yes.
Okay, sir. That's my point. Thank you.
Okay.
Anne, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Hill. How are you?
I'm all right, and I trust I find you well.
Thank you, and good night to your panel. And it's always a pleasure listening to you for many years. I've been trying to call you a lot of times. Over how many years I know I just get through, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I call you, based on the question about the inside of the polling stations, I always work as an indoor agent, right? And trust me, it's not easy at times. One of the past elections, I remembered there was a voter came in, and he says that John Brown, so to speak. And when I checked, after he handed his voter's ID to the presiding officer, and we check to see where that person is on the voters and make a stick. I personally know it wasn't that person. So what I did, I draw from my black book. And when I draw for the black book, they were going so fastly, giving him the ballots and this, and I draw for the black book, Mr. Hughes, and throwing the question upon him because I get the training. And when I threw on the question, what is your mother's name, before marriage and some other stuff, looking at the picture, it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in time to say, hold it, it's not him. So if indoor agents not play them part, dog me and we supper. We play a major role in that polling station. And I represent the Jamaica Labour Party. And thank God for the training I get. And I'm from Northeast St. Elizabeth. And I want them right slowly. We say, we are going to take it back. You understand me? Thank God for the training. And I've been working for that party going nearly 40 years from I'm going to school. And thank God for my godmother, Miss Clelia Webb, and my mother, Sister Eddie, who give me the training. You understand me?
Yes.
I have to walk up in front of the presiding officer and take out the ballot and punch my pen through here that the training me get me say you want me put it on in there. He must come out. It's not him. Mr. You by him come out. No time after that the right man come in. You see, when you know your people them and know your area and know your real, trust me, your role where you play in there. I'm telling you. So whatever, Mr. David Campbell said, me not afraid that hit me, I'm all veteran in this business. You understand me? So no shake me. I rule me say we go by where we feel do. So they have to come good. Pressure in a pipeline, Mr. Hugh, and pressure bus pipe. God bless Papa Nana, that love to talk to him. I wish if you could have give me number. Trust me. And as Papa Nana say, you can't set mangoes to watch your for your chicken them. A factory.
Yes, ma'am.
A factory, Mr. Hughes. Pressure in a pipeline. And I'm saying to Jamaica people, have sense. I see where my grandparents and others are coming from. It wasn't easy. How can they vote against prosperity? Mr. Hughes, if they're not up in the eye, what happened in America? Dog are going to with support Jamaica. Have sense. Choose Jamaica. So when them say time come to do Mr. Hughes, time come to choose Jamaica. And that's a famous slogan.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Anthony, good evening.
Hey, Chevron Cliff, how you do?
I'm all right.
Yeah, Cliff, I just called in to counteract the caller before this lady who was saying that Nationwide don't fact-check things. As a matter of fact, Cliff, there's a famous clip right now running on social media. You, Cliff, take on a brother that was talking about golden birth certificate and stuff like that. So that is not true. You guys, once you pick it up, on stop the callers and said, no, don't come here with that. So I don't know where he's coming from with that foolishness. and never plan to call. But when I hear him, if I had to call to say, him say him listen religiously, well, if him listen religiously, him only hear what him wants to hear, Chris. That's all I have to say.
Okay, sir.
To the caller's point, sometimes I understand mistakes happen and misinformation can slip through if you're not fully understanding of the subject. And when we do make those mistakes, we are big people here at Nationwide News. We suck it up, we apologize, and we move on.
Yeah. All right, who's next? I think that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. And don't forget, at 9 o'clock this evening, the second national debate on the economy is set to begin, moderated by our own Deputy Executive Editor, George Davis. Yes, we want to say thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, of course, our technical operator, Andrew Anderson, the members of the news and production team, and of course, our YouTubers, our WhatsAppers, and our tweets. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back at 8:30 for the pre-debate show on the economy.
Stay ahead in your career with UWI-STAR, the short-term advancement resource center. Our programs are designed to support your professional growth. Join our community of professionals and take the next step in your career. Visit our website, www.mona.uwi.edu/short-courses to learn more about the continuing professional education programs of UWI-STAR.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates